talking about, the West Coast ain't you and you ain't, you ain't this and you ain't that and you siding with and that. When the y'all heard me say a mother thing about who I'm siding with or this and that, I'll be in my own lane chilling.
When the game seemed to side with Drake in his fight with Kendrick Lamar, it looks like they have no more ties with the West Coast. Kendrick's star-studded pop-up concert in Woodwood on June 19 was missing the game. He later went on Instagram and tried to play it cool by saying he wasn't upset about not being asked. But let's be honest, he looked like he was holding back tears. The game said he never picked a side and said he never turned his back on the West Coast. But Kendrick seems to feel differently. Kendrick's friend DJ Head just told everyone that he thinks the game has let him down. Besides that, he also showed off a big Easter egg from Kendrick's concert, a disc that was specifically made for gangs.
Where have I heard Dre, I See Dead People? And I went back to the Game One Blood intro, where that's what he says. And he said, Dre, I see dead people. So for Dre to be the person in this, and that was a Dre diss too. That was a Dre, and he told me
I'm gonna do an album without Dre's production.
Some fans say that the game was one of Diddy's alleged industry boy toys and went to those freak-off parties, so maybe Kendrick is saying that the game isn't like us. But really, what's the deal with the game? Did he really pick the wrong side in the Kendrick-Drake fight and ignore the West Coast? And how did Kendrick make fun of the game during his Law concert? Let's start.
Watch Kendrick and his essence, going from literally a good kid in the Mad City, how he fought through being non-affiliated and staying the course, and then putting out that album, which was the one that should have won the Grammy to me. Not saying that Damn, I listened to Damn yesterday. It was incredible.
It looks like the game really played himself in this Kendrick versus Drake matchup. Not just because he seemed to pick Drake over Kendrick and betrayed his city, but also because he picked Drake at first and then started switching his mind and trying to play both sides. Just to review. Back in April, soon after Drake dropped Push-Ups, dropping Give Me 50 in reaction to Kendrick's dissatisfaction with the future in Metro Manila, the game took to Instagram, seemingly endorsing Drake by posting a video of himself chilling at home and listening to Drizzy's 2015 song Energy, quoting one of these lines from the track the game wrote. In the caption, I got rap ninjas that I got to act like I liked, but the game's followers were quick to check on him and charge him of betraying the West Coast by siding with Kendrick's enemy. Meanwhile, the game also showed love to Drake in several Instagram posts, including one that read, I'll call you my brother because there's never been a time where you made me feel otherwise, and then Drizzy responded in the comment section, saying too much history, but guess what? The game later removed that post from his IG feed, and let me tell you, he's stirring up a storm of backlash from fans. Now, if you're going to throw your hat in the ring, you got to commit to it. Deleting that post that's just asking for trouble, so this got everyone wondering where the game really stands now. When the beef escalated and it became obvious that Kendrick would come out on top, the game suddenly started playing the neutral observer, claiming that he has equal love and respect for both K2 and Drake. And then on May 1st, just days before Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, the game took to 8 to say the whole beef is watered down and threw shade at Cole for apologizing to Kendrick and bowing out. The game shared a screenshot of an ex-post by Joe Button podcast co-host Officially Ice that read, I want one of these rap ninjas to diss game just so y'all can see what a proper disc record looks like. Of course, the moment the game caught wind of his name being mentioned, he couldn't resist blowing his own trumpet game rule in the caption, cause my level of disrespect has no limit and I can actually rap fans go choose up with whatever artist is currently safe for the culture to love as a whole, but every real rap ninja in this know who to play with and who not to. Hip-hop, or whatever y'all calling it these days, was already watered down then. Cole apologized and turned this is into Kool-Aid with no sugar, so the game went from cozying up to Drake calling him his brother to suddenly bragging that he's better than both Drake and Kendrick. And get this, he's now flip-flopping again, claiming that actually both Kendrick and Drake are his brothers and denying that he ever picked sides. So, as you all know, on June 19th, Kendrick threw down an epic pop-up show in Inglewood, solidifying his victory over Drake and his god status on the West Coast. Kendrick strolled onto that stage wearing a red hoodie, put it over a white tee, rocking an iced-out crucifix, blue jeans, and some fresh Nike Shox, and he topped it all off with a red baseball hat. It turns out this getup was a nod to Tupac, who wore an almost similar outfit in '94 at the Source Awards when he dropped out on Bell with Thug Life Pac, who famously crashed the Source stage while a Tribe Called Quest was getting their Rap Group of the Year award, while Pac's crew pressured the sound guy to play their track. Hack and Thug Life then took the mic from Q-Tip and started their set, causing a short-lived beef with Tribe. Now, whether Kendrick's outfit was planned or not, the message was crystal clear. Kendrick kicked off his set with his Drake diss track Euphoria, and the crowd rapped along with every word, going bar for bar for bar for the entire 6-minute jam. But Kendrick dropped a new line in that last verse, saying, "Give me the Tupac ring back, and I might give you a little respect," referencing Drake's controversial purchase of Tupac's famous crown ring for $1 million. Kendrick also slipped in a couple of new lines during his performance of 616 in LA, and his first from Like That, but the highlight of the night was Dr. whispering, "I see dead people," after joining Kendrick for a performance of California Love, and then Kendrick proceeded to perform Not Like Us not once, not twice, but 6 times in a row, and just when you thought Drake couldn't possibly take another L, he did by the 3rd or 4th time Not Like Us played. NBA stars DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook stormed the stage showing off their dance moves. YG and DJ Mustard also joined them, as well as several members of rival gangs Bloods, Crips, and Pirates, all vibing together and posing for a group photo at the end of the concert. Basically, Kendrick reminded Drake once again that he's not like us and that the culture had picked their side, but Kendrick's fellow compatriot of the game was nowhere to be seen, which pretty much solidified what fans had already suspected, that Game sided with the enemy. But then the Game decided to clear the air and hopped on IG to say he never sided with anyone and denied betraying the West Coast.
Motherfuckers in my DMs and all on these, these blog sites and whatnot, talking about, the West Coast ain't with you and you ain't, you ain't this and you ain't that and you siding with and that. When the y'all heard me say thing about who I'm siding with or this and that, I'll be in my own lane chilling, taking care of my kids out the fucking way. That's how I made it this far in this game, man. A lot of y'all fans, it's kind of easy to sit where y'all sitting at y'all house and try to look engaged from where y'all, but it's a lot of that go on in this industry, man. And y'all can see from what happens to some of some of y'all certain celebrities y'all follow and whatnot, and what it's all cracked up to be. And because I don't want to play internet games all the time or be on this every day or be on these people red carpet or doing all this, I like, for me, man, I got into the game thinking that this shit was gonna be one way and it was a whole other way. So I had to, navigate myself through my whole time. I've been in since 2003, right? Because that's when I got signed to Aftermath, 2003.
Game then talked on and on about how he's always been a solid character since day one, and he even claimed that Dr. Dre can vouch for him being one of the real ones.
Everybody, and if you ask anybody, anybody that really know me that's in this, and I'm talking about anybody, go ask Dr. Dre, man. Like, sit Dr. Dre down and really ask about who I am and my character and, like what he really feel about me at the end of the day as a man. Artist and all the rest of that you're talking about as a man. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. my Nip. But ask Nip, if you could ask Nip himself, he would have told you. And he did tell you out his own mouth what, I contributed, to his career. From the beginning, bro. From the beginning on the West Coast, coming straight out of West Side, Cedar Block, Bompton, Piru, which is still my hood to this day. Never slacked, they never ran, they never did nothing but throw the I took that Cincinnati hat worldwide, put on for Compton, and I put on for the West Coast. And Top Dog know what it is, Kendrick know what it is, YG know what it is, Mustard know what it is, Ty Dolla $ign know what it is, Dr. Dre know what it is, Snoop know what it is, Hit Boy know what it is, Dom Kennedy know what it is, all the powers that be on the West Coast. And I hope my RJ, everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody on this, what and Chuck Taylor is and what I am and, what I've done for the West.
But who is the Game trying to convince us or himself? Because guess what? Kendrick's friend DJ Head just revealed that Dr. Dre and Kendrick actually sneaked this game during the La Pop-Up show. So you know that part where Dr. Dre whispered, "I see dead people," before Kendrick performed and Not Like Us? Well, it turns out that was a direct reference track One Blood, which begins with him saying, "Dre, I see dead people." And DJ Head pretty much confirmed this during his recent appearance on the Bigger Picture show, saying that everything Kendrick and his friends did at the pop-up show was carefully planned and strategized.
And I went back to the Game One Blood intro, where that's what he said. And he said, "Dre, I see dead people." So for Dre to be the person in this, and that was a Dre diss too. That was a Dre, and he told me
I'm gonna do an album without Dre's production at that time.
So to me, I thought that was so slick, and I know that they're calculated enough to know that was, and the game was.
These West Coast guys are too cerebral for me, man.
The game was noticeably missing, and also did seem to side a little bit with Drake. So I thought that was a cool double entendre, whether intended or not. But for Dre to intro, I thought that was such a cool.
Now remember when 50 Cent said the game was bipolar.
How could you have an assessment on a person who's flip-flopped their entire career?
I don't have an assessment. I just know.
I watched him go one way. He almost bipolar. If you watch it, like the way he does things, like he'll do it like he's extremely emotional, then it goes to extremely aggressive, and does something else.
Well, people are saying 50 figured out the game a long time ago, and the way he's been moving during this Kendrick versus Drake beef is actually 100% on brand for him. One fan said he was just unloyal and weird with a blood turn. He traded on 50. He loved the Canadian over his own culture and city, just always picking the wrong side. And be mad he gets left out, and someone else wrote Game is one of the greatest lyricists to come out of Lot. He just pulls weirder moves, and that's why he doesn't get the love like that on the West Coast. But let me hear your takes on the Game and the way he's been acting during this Kendrick versus Drake drama. Why do you think Game keeps moving up on people? Drop your ideas in the comments and make sure you stick around for the next video.